5.
Welcome to another episode of Get Lifted. 30 is the new 20. It's your boy, Smiley Jizzle, and I'm with some special guests today. Introduce yourself.
Vince, follow me on the gram 20340.
You already know it's your boy Zay, man. Follow me on Insta at TriniBoyZay_.
Facts. And we're here. Today's gonna be a light episode, you know what I mean? My other co-host not here. Yo, shout out to my boy. He just opened up for Young and May and Hartford. Shout out to Connecticut. Always putting shit on. We doing it. Yeah, but without further ado, let's get into. So, what was we talking about? We was talking about some crazy shit.
I was really talking about like how people kind of manipulate, kind of change your thinking in situations pertaining to just you alone. So say you want to do something you think is good for yourself, but then you have someone that tells you, okay, I mean, you could do that, but I feel that you're not ready for that yet. You should do that.
That sounds like discouragement.
Right. So,
right.
Discouragement, it goes a long way. It goes deeper along the lines. It's also hinders.
It can be from the people that you care about the most.
So
let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. That's deep. That's really deep. It's so deep it hurts because it's crazy because I like to consider myself an encouraging person. I like to consider myself a person that's always trying to make choices, or I'm sorry, not make choices, but make affirmations for individuals for them to do better in their life, right? And not really necessarily to tell them what they should do or it's wrong that they doing this or whatever the case may be. I don't judge people. You know what I mean? I know people that do whatever they do, but I don't judge people, but I always encourage people to do better. So let's talk about further what you talking about. What's the example that you if you like to share? What's the example that you got?
I was kind of share like a little personal thing. So the first thing
no names.
Of course, it's not gonna be names. No discrimination and stuff. But basically, like it starts where I want to try to do something, and then I'm told the odds of the success rate of me being able to do something or trying to hinder me in a way where it's like, alright, I can do it, but I have to always think of possibility, how many people is trying to go into this field. It's like the NBA, for example. We all know that every young kid, especially African American, wants to grow up and play in the league. But we also know that it's a slim percentage of, getting picked in the draft, stuff like that, fitting the scouts agenda, stuff like that as a player. So you got a lot to work on.
Right. Hey Facebook, take a picture.
Right. If you have a strong opinion of yourself doing something, someone's always going to try to lower your value in a way because they feel like they may not see it yet.
Facts.
Until the actual image of what you're doing happens.
Right. So people only support you when it's beneficial to them.
No.
In a nutshell.
They put it like this. When people see you do something, they're not proud of it. They're surprised you did this shit.
Like, wow, you did that?
Like Jay-Z dad told the nigga, like, you're not gonna sell 1 billion records. And what the nigga do? Now the nigga is mind blown. He can't believe this shit himself. Right. It's more than just a proud feeling.
It hurts. For me, like it kind of backfires. Like discouragement encourages me. You feel me? Like, I don't know if that, it's an oxymoron, but it's crazy because for me, it pushes me to do better. It's an ego thing. When I can't do something and somebody tells me that I'm not going to be able to do it, just give it up, I end up pushing myself even further and actually accomplishing that instead of relying on somebody else to just take over and just giving up altogether. I'll give you an example. Like, I never like we crack our phones, our phone screens like all the time or whatever, and I'm like a tech geek kind of. I'm like a little nerd, like, and so I never really like wanted to like do no little technical stuff like inside of a device like that because I didn't want to mess nothing up. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it. And to replace my phone, it will cost a lot of money, almost $1,000 to replace my phone. Matter of fact, over $1,000 to replace my phone. So then I was like, if I mess it up, then that's it. Like, I'm gonna get an Android. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not replacing it, you feel me? But I took the screen out, I did everything that the instructions told me to do. I had the little kit, which cost me $58, and I replaced my screen. And my screen is brand new. My screen, we're using it. You know what I mean? That's my screen. It had a long crack. It had 3 cracks. I saved the cracked screen just so I could have it like before and after. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And I recorded with these glasses. I recorded me doing it like step by step by step by step. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna use this and I'm gonna put this out and show people that I know how to fix a cracked screen. But that's the thing about people. We can do these things. Like, I'm a normal guy, like you, like him. We all are capable of doing that. It's just that I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, you know how to do it. You could do it. Google is your friend, right? You feel me? But it's like, we don't want to do it. You feel me? And that's what it is. It's like, people know that you're capable of doing it, but then when people understand that they've never done it because they never challenged themselves, they tend to look at other people that are like them and think that they're not capable of doing it because they've never challenged themselves. I always challenge other people. You know what I mean? Like, I challenge you, I challenge him. You guys are the future. Like, I'm not the future. Like, I already have my chance. You know what I mean? But now you guys are coming up. You guys got so many years to make a change in a society that's fucking destroying itself. You feel me? So it's important for people like myself to encourage you guys, not discourage, but encourage you guys to use what you guys know so that you guys can be better than what you are. You feel me? Because you can do better. The thing is that we lack the power of communication skills. And the way that we communicate certain things to people, the way that we feel from our heart, it means well. It's a genuine emotion, right? But it's not that we mean wrong by what we're saying. It's just the way that we say it doesn't sound the way that the people want to hear it. And that can be conveyed sometimes as like discouraging. But somebody expecting more of you will say something to you like, yo, you can do so much more. Like, I was in a relationship with somebody for 15 years. And she told me, yo, you need to give up this music stuff, whatever. And I was like, man, she might be right. But the reason I was doing it was for her. Cause I was like, yo, like, if I be like a big rapper and I be making mad money, I could put her in a house. We could have kids running in the backyard, doing whatever they want to do, and we could just always have free time to do the things that we love to do with each other. But she seen it as like, I'm a dreamer. And listening to her friends understood that he's a dreamer, whatever. Well, guess what? I'm still dreaming. And I got more music out on mainstream than any artist in Connecticut. My little brother about to be coming up. He got music on this shit. Feel me? My team just opened up for Young and May. I opened up for Fabulous Sold Out Show at Toe's Place in my town. You feel me? She was dying to get there. She was mad because a bitch came there, gave me a drink. You feel me? I should be feeling myself, and I am. You know, and a lot of times what he's talking about is like the discouragement, because you get that from the people that you care about the most. And the fact that I was doing music and I stepped away from music for the same reason I was doing it, because I was doing it for her. I wasn't doing it for me. I was doing it because I was like, yo, I want to be rich quick. And I know I'm good at this, so I'm going to use this to do it. Got the mic right there, behind a fucking lamp. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I want to jump into it. But it's, my heart not into it, and my heart was into it. You know what I mean? And a lot of music, most of the time comes from your heart. It's you expressing what you going through. You know what I mean? And so that hurt because she understood that. And she would play my shit. She would have my shit in the car. We'd be driving, going to Six Flags or something, and she'd be playing that shit. I hate that I'm reminiscing, but it's some real shit because we talking about discouragement. And I got all this love amongst ourselves kind of fooling me that, like, yo, and then reality, like, but then it's probably, this is what I say, it may not just be that person, it may be other parties involved that are telling this person this, putting things in their head, like, yo, but, you know, so it could have been that, but I'm just seeing it as, like, the fuck, feel me? You the front row. You hear, you see chicks buying me drinks. You see chicks out here fucking trying to grab my hand. Like what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that shit is real. That shit is crazy. And you just a local artist. You feel me? You not nothing special. But I'm a local artist performing in Virginia. I'm a local artist performing in New Jersey. I'm a local artist performing in Massachusetts. I'm a local artist performing in Virginia. You feel me? I'm not local over there. I'm only local when I'm performing in Connecticut. But when I go to another state, I represent Connecticut. And she with me in discouraging, right? I understand discouragement. And a lot of times as men, I always get to this. It's about being a man. Discouragement, right? Like, motherfuckers, like, people that you care about discourage you. Like, you got any examples? Like, we got some good time on this shit. I want y'all to talk. Like, I've been talking for a long time.
Not really.
No?
I hear what y'all saying.
What about you? Like, cause you spearheaded this discussion, so you gotta have an example.
Well, like I said, it was a certain point in time where I was trying to get my CD out, basically. When I first started out, a lot of people was just telling me, like, hey, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure that that's the best decision for you? It's a lot of work, it's a lot of this, that.
Right.
But then it's like, people also are talking on morally their own experiences. They're not talking on my experience.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if you never done something, then don't be so quick to shoot my idea down.
Because they couldn't do it, so vicariously through you, they're like, you're not gonna be able to do it because I couldn't do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And selling you short because they sold themselves short. Like, I say this to you, you know what I mean? I say this, that there's gonna be challenges, adversity. There's gonna be certain things that's gonna happen in your life that's gonna push you to like be like, yo, I probably can't do this or whatever. But I'm telling you, it's just that. It's just a challenge. It's only a challenge. You're going to be able to get through it. It's just dealing with being an adult, bro. Like really, that's it. You know what I mean? So don't losing a job or anything like that. Don't feel like it's the end of the world. Like, you know what I mean? Trying something and not getting it, or trying something and getting it. You know what I mean? That's a part of growing up. But you know what you're capable of doing. You have a lot of great work ethic. You're a leader. You feel me? So you should. I don't see much that you probably couldn't accomplish. You know what I mean? Just knowing you from the outside looking in, from what I know of you personally. You know what I mean? So if anybody's saying some shit like that, they must not really know you that well. And I don't know you as long as probably somebody that probably told you that shit, but I could tell you're a go-getter, yo. You got this motherfucker working. You feel me? Like I see your ambition. I see the type of person that you are. As an individual, nobody should discourage you from doing shit. And I tell everybody the same shit that I tell him. You can do whatever the fuck you put your mind to. I see that. You know what I mean? And we need to tell each other that shit. Because putting your mind to something is tough. Because it's a lot of shit that's hard to do when you actually try to do it. Like you got all these distractions and all different types of negative talk coming into you and all this. You know what I mean? There's so much shit that's going on, but you still gotta push through that shit and just be like, fuck it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this is what I feel is right. I've done my research, I've done my legwork, and now I know. It's people that told me like, yo, if I listen to somebody and they told me, hey, you shouldn't start a business. You don't know the first thing about starting a business. I would never start one. You know me? Then I thought about it like, yo, fuck it, I'm gonna just start a business. I started a business because I was arguing with my friend. And he'll attest to that. Yes, this motherfucker is a stubborn asshole, and he just started a business because we had an argument. Well, guess what? People be calling, ringing my line, bugging the shit out of me, and I'll be fucking getting them nonstop. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers like really want to talk to us. You know what I mean? And really want us to work for them. And they see the shit that we do, and they see how good we are at what we do. You know what I mean? And they trust us. Trust is the most important part of business. A lot of times we get discouraged by people that we trust. And it's conflicting. You know what I mean? Like, how could somebody that you trust, somebody that you would do anything for, tell you that you can't do something? When somebody that never met you will say you can do anything that you put your mind to. All right, is this person lying? Or is the person that known me all my life lying? But sometimes you gotta be honest with yourself too. You gotta take accountability. If you've never done something to a certain level, what somebody has to do is explain how much debt you're getting yourself into when you're gonna do this. Because this is what I had to do. These are challenges that I faced. That's more of a better way of putting it than saying that you can't do it, but just kind of preparing you for what's to be expected. You know? So, I got an example, if I got enough time before it goes out. But I already said a good amount, so hopefully it doesn't go out. My sister wanted to get into the military, right? A female getting into the military, not a big deal, right? So that wasn't what it was. It was my sister's attitude getting into the military. It wasn't so much as her being a female getting into the military as opposed to it was her attitude. So she's got a strong personality, right? And doesn't like people yelling at her, people telling her what to do, talking to her a certain way, and have to deal with people talking to her a certain way. The military probably would have did her some good. But I was like, I don't know. And she was like, she was gonna do it, but they asked her to remove her tattoo off her neck. If she do that, she can get in. I'm not doing that. There you go. That's an example. So let's move on. I'm not gonna like drag her, you know what I mean? That's my sister. I love her to death. But it's just like you can't discourage a person, right? If you know the type of a person that this person is. And me saying to her, I don't think you are really going to be able to deal with the military. It's a lot. It's a lot of mental shit with people yelling at you and whatever. Oh, I could do that. I could do this. And we used to run and whatever, exercise. And she was like, no, I can't do this no more. Right? Sometimes she would say no. And sometimes she don't want to do the podcast. And sometimes she don't want, like, you can't do that in the military. They tell you to do this at this time, you got to do it. When they want you to do it. And that's a lot for any human being. To do what somebody wants you to do when they want you to do it. That's a relationship. To do what somebody wants you to do when they want you to do it. For a woman, I guess. Not for a guy. But a woman wants you to take out the trash as soon as you come in the house after you had a long day's work. When she been in the house all day. You know what I mean? And you have to be like, all right, I'll take it out when I get a chance to take it out. Why you can't take it out right now? You already dressed. You already All right, I'll take it out right now. You know what I mean? Like it be like that. That's the reality of it. That's not discouraging, but it's discouraging to try to be in a long-term relationship. That should make you feel like shit. I don't want to be in a relationship for a long time with somebody that be yelling at me because I ain't take out the trash as soon as I came in the house. Like that's crazy. But nah, in reality, what you saying like it's serious because we don't talk about that enough. Like mental health, that's a part of that. That discouraging talk from the people that care about us the most, telling us that we can't do something and kind of limiting us, that's hurtful. You feel me? And sometimes it can come from anybody. It can come from a friend. It can come from a family member. It can come from a relationship, a partner. You feel me? So that's something to be considered. But what you have to understand is people project, right? Human beings project. So we have to forgive people. I know it's hard. I know it's crazy. It sounds like some Martin Luther King shit. But the reality is, yeah, we all black people, and we all gotta fucking learn to live with each other and learn to accept our shortcomings. I was talking to my friend earlier, and it was like, yo, like he was saying he watched a segment that he encouraged me to watch, and he told me that it made him hate black people, and we don't use names. And I was like, wow. And I was like, don't hate black people. And I encouraged him to love black people instead of that. And he said he'll try. And I appreciate that because I watched him grow up. And he's a cool person. And he shouldn't say anything like that. But I know where it comes from. It comes from what we see our brothers and sisters do to each other. And how we see us treat each other. How we treat our women. How the women treat our men. You feel me? And it's like fucked up. You know what I mean? It's discouraging. And sometimes it could be a grandmother, it could be an aunt, it could be an uncle, it could be a mother, it could be a father, it could be a brother, it could be a sister, cousin, friend, teacher that's black that watch you grow up, that's telling you you can't do something. That's crazy. That's crazy. But shout out to them. Because without them, you wouldn't have experienced that to become as strong as you are today. You feel me? So love them. You know what I mean? And appreciate the part that they did play in your life. Because when you do become successful and you got a chain of CDL drivers at your company or whatever that you started from the ground up, then they're going to be like, damn, can I get a job? And you're going to be like, sure. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, that's what happens. Look, Chris Rock got smacked in the face, right? And said something crazy. He said that the security guard that works at one of the sets that he was at was his bully and held him upside down and all this other shit. And now he works for him. And he says good morning to him. And that's it. And he got to deal with that shit. And that's karma. Smacking him in the fucking face. You feel me? That's crazy. You know? But, I don't know. I think, like, for what we talked about, I think we got some valuable information. Because I think understanding of people is very important here. Because I'm not a psychiatrist or behavioral scientist or no shit like that. But I know some shit, right? So I understand that people behave a certain way, and you can only expect people to behave a certain way. You can't expect people to behave any other way than how people behave, right? We're not animals, but we are opportunists in certain situations when we're vulnerable. And when we feel like it can conflict with the way somebody sees us, will behave a certain way because of that. Like, for instance, I think that you're gonna think less of me if I tell you that I like a bitch to lick my butt. Right? Pause. And that's not true. I don't. That was hypothetical. But if I said that, I'm thinking that, yo, a guy is gonna look different to me. Like, yo, I think, like, you this nigga that be getting all these bitches, but you got bitches licking your butt? Like, what? You nasty. You feel me? You could look at that like this. Your kid is a doctor and da-da-da-da-da, but you never did that. It's hurtful to believe it, but that could crush a parent probably for somebody to hear that they've never been able to accomplish that, and their child was able to do it. But they should be proud because you made that person. You made that person. Like, stop there. Like, you made that person. So you should be happy of what that person has become. You know what I mean? But they don't look at it that way. They were supposed to own this store on the corner that we live in. You know what I mean? Like, but they became a doctor. Motherfucker. Parouche. How the fuck could you do that to your poor parents? Indian Parouche. I made that name up, by the way, but I do know an Indian Parouche. Well, anyway, happy Mother's Day to the mothers. I'm gonna leave the links in the description below. Comment, share, like. There's going to be more videos every Sunday. Expect it. Look forward to it. And signing off is your boy Smiley and my special guest today. And we had a wonderful evening, a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the rest of your week. Salud.
On the move like I need a new hobby. Fuck a 9 to 5. I just